let's start with XRP, and let's have a look at this chart. And again, just a quick zoom out. Remember this chart with the wave here, and zooming into the daily, and you can see from yesterday the rejection and then the spill here. And what a spill. Question is it done, or are we in for more? You can see here that this is the 15-minute. This is the bottom of the 15-minute arc, which I'm going to show you in a moment. And you see it dropped out of it last night in this spill, and it's back into it. When we zoom in on the, let's say, the 4 hour, the 4 hour here, you can see, look, it's wicked back into the line here. Here it is, lifting up. Now, last hour, you can see there's a rejection here, starting to push down again. Here's the 4 hour, the 20 and the 55. Here's where it crossed, and again it took a nice turn down here. If we zoom in on the 3 hour, part of the spill was, look at the 20 here, touched the 55 and then came down. And this was even sharper. There's been a bit of a retrace here, so this is quite sharp coming down. Here's the green retrace, and again here we are pushing down again. It looks like it's doing like a 5-minute arc here. It's like it's doing a consolidation here before it moves in its next direction. I think it's going to be down, but you never know. There you can see that on the 2 hour time frame, the 20s after crossing over the 55. That wasn't there last night. And then the same, the 1 hour crossed over. If you remember earlier yesterday, I was talking about waiting for the 15 to cross over. So there you can see the 15 crossed over, and there's the spill, followed with the 1 and the 2 hour, the 3 hour turned. So they all happened last night, yeah. So now when I click into the 15-minute arc, you can see. Hang on, I'm just going to put this on the hour simply so I can fit more on the screen, yeah. Okay, there we go. So you can see here's the beginning of the impulse, but you've got the one wave is the second wave. We got this other third wave, and again it's breakout time. It broke through. You see it broke through the support line here. We're back in it again. If we're going for this drop, this is looking like potentially dead cat bounce, first spike, resistance peak. This is the first part of the drop. This is a retrace. Sometimes you get 2 of these until we head down to mid-range high, and we get a much bigger play, and then we get third spike. So first spike, second spike, third spike. If it's going to continue down, this is what it looks like it's setting up, yeah. Excuse me. Could it whip around and head up? Yeah, it could, yeah. But it does look like it's for the spill down. We got to see what this consolidation is going to do. So there's the 1 hour, giving a push back down. When we click into the channels here, I've reset this red line a little bit. I had it a little lower, and because of this chart and the white line here, I've reset this red line a little bit more favorably to lift it up a little bit. It fits a little better, yeah. So just as the story goes, here's the resistance of the red line, the channel here, travels to the white. Now it starts to travel up along the yellow line, breaking divergence with this white line here. Then you get the lift, breaks out of the red channel, only to come back into it onto the yellow line. It tries to break again and fails. This white line is a center line. Look at the lift here of price action. Look at the other bottom half here. So this is the center line of it. So back down onto the yellow line, drops back into the red channel. Now this is the this is the 15-minute arc playing out, and here is the support line of the 15-minute arc. So you get the lift back up, hits this yellow line, look at this for a rejection, back down into the red channel, onto the white line. Now look, when we zoom in here, this is on the 4 hour, is wick back in, retrace back up to the red line, and now getting pushed back down again. So look at it, beautiful, sweet marks here, yeah. So this is it. We've got to go through the sideways here to see, and it looks like this is its own little 5-minute arc going on in here to see what's going to happen. No doubt it's going to push a little lower here as well. So the last thing I'm going to say is the MAs. I'm going to just flick to the daily. And I'm looking at possible continuation or a return to a head up. Yeah, there's the 20, there's the 10, again supporting down. There's the VWAP, there's the 5, nice big spill, nice big push down, a little bit of a retrace. Is the 12 hour is going to change in 4 hours. So you can see the 20 EMA, the white line here. There's the VWAP. There's the pink is the 20 EMA, orange is the 5, the 10 MA is the blue. Again, still all downward, but it will be interesting to see what happens when this turns. When this turns, are we going to get a green? If we get a green, it's going to come up even higher, and it could start to potentially turn some of those MAs. Yeah. So if I just go to the 8 hour, and again, part of what pushed this down so strongly is that the 50 and the 20, look, even though the 5 is here, the 50 and the 20 were what stopped this from going up. As much as the 20 on the daily, look at the 50 and the 20 is really making an effort to push this down. And then the 5 comes in later. The 5 comes in later to jump on board, yeah? So, and here's the 10 here. So as long as price action doesn't get up too high, these guys can come and follow price action, and there's still a lovely turn on that to push down, yeah? Go to the 4 hour, and 4 hour, there's the 4 hour there. And again, look, is the retrace up, and look now just push back down. So when we flick to the 2 hour, again, there's the 5 gradually getting down and applying a bit of pressure. But you can see the arc here, this 5-minute arc, this looks like mountain peak on a 5-minute. So I'm expecting something like this, and come down a little bit, and then it might come back up a little bit, and bounce along this red line, come down a little bit, and at some point be looking to get the push down, yeah, for continuation. Let's have a look at there on the hour. You can see the 10. The 10 is the one that's pushing down, yeah. And just one last thing about the MAs here. Underneath, there's nothing underneath. See, there's once this, if it spills down, all the MAs are up here. There's free space here. MA wise, there's free space here. So once it spills out of this, it can go quite a bit. Okay, so last thing I'm going to look at just briefly is the RSIs. The RSI, let's go back to the hour. Actually, let's do more locally, just for a sec. The 15-minute, the 5-minute. 5-minute, and I'm going to do the stock, this one down here, yeah? So, on the 5-minute, you can see that the 5 minutes at the bottom here, it needs to come back up. So you can see that the push down here, breaking through these guys, you can see this big push with these guys here is as this is, see this what's going on here, is this is already looks, all this here is part of the turn. By the time this starts to move up, most of the energy of it's already done. So this is the stock turning up. So when this actually starts to move up, it'll go up fast, but yet the power of the lift will nearly be gone. So you can see that as much as this is trying to get a lift here, it's not really getting very far. It's just going sideways. So you can see that I'd be surprised if it breaks through this. I actually don't think it will. We're due look, a mountain peak. So here's second drop. Here's the 1-2, and here we are on the impulse down. So I could nearly put a fib on this and go, where can I expect this to go to? I'd expect a range of the 618 to 3873 to about the 3860. So somewhere between 38.7 and 38.6 will be third drop. But anyway, this needs to take a breather, and then we'll get a push down. Yeah. On the 15, you see the 15 is all. You see the same here. The 15 will take us down to third drop, and again that might need a breather again. So we get another lift, and again we get another push down again. That's what I'll be looking for as part of this 5-minute wave. Yeah. When I go to the hour, again the hour is down. So the hour can stay down here a lot longer. There's an example. The hour can stay down here a lot longer. Again, this here is quite possible that if this wants to go up now, this could come up. This could come up and it level out at the top here. It could do that. I don't think it will though. I think we'll get another drop out of this before this needs to go up again. I could be wrong on that, but by the end of this 5-minute, this might be at the top, or it's just ready to go down again. So the 2 hour, you see, this is why I'm doing this. The 2 hour is already on the way down, yeah, and it can spend time down there once it gets down there. And this is why I'm showing this now, because look, there's the 3 hour on the way down. There's the 4 hour on the way down. And remember, a lot of the push happens at the top, so that when it's actually coming down like this, as you can see, this turn here was getting it to turn, you know, and this pressure here was where it got a bit of force. But now this move here, look how much it came down on these couple of candles. But it was these 3 or 4 candles here that where the real effort was being put in. But now the 4 hour is once it comes down, again it can stay down for quite a while, or it can come up pretty fast. If it's a big spill, it's going to stay down, I think, until it hits the bottom. But the point I'm making here is, look, here's the 6 hour starting to come down. And the reason why, here's the 8 hour potentially looking to come down. So really what I'm talking about is you can start to see there's a potential cascade of the stock RSIs. So here's the 9 potentially taking a dip. So if this is going for a greater dump, is by the time it's done, you'll be looking for all these stocks to be down the bottom. So when they all start to bottom out, is then the only direction it's going to go is up. And it could be setting up a nice big. So there's the 12. Okay, and there's the daily. Again, the daily might be looking to come down and find the bottom here. Okay, so that's me. That's me for now. We'll leave the questions until the end, yeah, and then we can have a conversation at the end. So Mihaela, do you want to hop in there?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, all right, super duper. So sorry. One last thing. So sorry, Mihaela. So basically, what is the outcome here? Is we're waiting for this. We're waiting for the sideways to decide when it plays out what it's going to do, and I think really what we're looking at here is holding the red line here, the channel, keeping it in this channel, and again getting below this white channel and starting to move below this. Because that's what we're looking for. If you start to see a head up, back up around the 39.50, that's not looking so good in the sense of that looks like it's going to turn and start to head up. So 39.50 is not looking so good for the down, looking like it's going to go up. If it starts breaking below let's say 38.50. 38.50 is a very solid indication that we're starting to head down. 39.50 is a pretty good indication that we're starting to head up. So that's the space I think it's playing out in. Okay, thank you. Sorry, Mihaela, go on ahead. Mihaela, hopefully. Mihaela, if you're talking, I can't hear you.
Can see your screen, Mihaela, but I can't hear you.
I can't hear you, yeah.
I was muted. I'm really sorry.
There we go. Super. Okay.
Sorry, stupid branch. Okay, so I'm going to start with Bitcoin on the weekly so that you see why we are where we are. And again, just like XRP, I have two possible scenarios. We stopped at a major level of support and resistance, and we are at the moment on it, the 29.5. We could come down and test this double bottom here at about 25, but I think if we're breaking this level, we're not just coming down for that. I checked I did a bit of background check. Now I look more at the shorter time frames. I admit that, but now I'm looking at the relationship between Bitcoin's lifts, the so-called bull runs, the markup phases, and the 200 MA. And starting 2016, these lifts all came up from the 200 MA, all of them. There were four, one, two, three, and then this one, the fourth one, the continuation of the third one. But they all bounced off the 200. I see it as a but again, this is a longer term scenario. It is relevant to what's happening now because we are at a crucial level of support and resistance. But in the long term, I see Bitcoin coming down to here, which is the 22K level. Now, if we're holding this level for this week, and we managed to gain the 5 MA on the week, which has been for the past 9 weeks Bitcoin's nemesis. So we haven't even got above the 5 MA. I see the 20 at about 37, and then the 50 at about mid 40s being achievable targets. So we hold the 5. The next one is on the shorter time frames, the 35K would be the target. On the weekly, it's the 37. I think the weekly one, when we consider the longer time frame, is the more achievable. But we need to hold this week. We need to hold the 5 MA on the weekly, which is the 29.5. And basically, what I'm saying is hold 29.5 level today and tomorrow. We will see a nice lift up to 35. We lose the 29.5 level, then it's on the weekly here, we're in free fall. We might come down to the 25 around the double bottom, but I'd say this 200 MA has a very strong pull. On the 4-hour, in terms of MAs, we've lost the support of the 200. We've lost the support of the 50. We've lost the support of the 20. The only one that's holding us at the moment is the long-term support and resistance, 29.5, and we have below it the Bollinger, which is again a long a local support and resistance in this sideways channel. The 5 is turning down quite violently, and I think it's gonna do another push down. I took all of my profit from my short last night because it wasn't looking good, and I wasn't willing to to wait for a retracement. But that was a nice drop down, about 5%. What I'm waiting for in terms of entry are the two possible scenarios. So I'm waiting for, and I'm going to watch the 4 hour for this. So at the next, I'm in the New York session, the next 4 hours, 4 to 8 hours, the 5 is going to cross the 20 over the 4 hour. And I think New York will put another foot down to this drop, and it will come to a double bottom formation. And I will be looking at that double bottom formation as a possible entry for a long. If New York puts the second leg down and manages through volume to break the 29.5 level, I will wait for, depending on where the RSIs are on the 15-minute, I will wait for an entry for another leg down towards the 25 level, and then taking a part of the profit there and then leaving a little bit for the 22 level, because we are at the crossroads. This sideways has been going on for a while. It can still go on for some time. I don't think it's done. I think it needs a couple more swings, but I can't say how long that is. So that's why I'm taking it level by level and checking to see when the MAs push down, what is the effect, and I wait for that effect to be absorbed. And when the structure shows itself, I have a double bottom or a double top, then I go into a long or a short. And I follow it closely because we are in sideways. Trading in sideways means following it closely, taking your profits, moving your stop loss to protect yourself, and then seeing what it does when it meets the support and the max top or bottom support and resistance level. On the shorter time frames, Bitcoin was very nice to trade. We had the same almost identical situation as last week. We had a diamond top formation. It met its target. That's where I took my profit. And then I was expecting it to bounce off. I didn't enter a long because it was 3 o'clock at night and I was happy to go to bed. But I thought because of how bullish it looked on the MAs, it was going to rebound and head off to the 32 and then 35 area. But it didn't. It kept on dropping, and it met eventually the 29.3 that I was hoping it would meet during the weekend. But you can see there was a little bit of trickery before that level was met again. The next level, if we break this one, so if New York, I'm going to watch to see what New York does today, where it will get exhausted, because there might be a little sideways lift in London and then coming down to retest the 29.3, and then if the 29.3 holds, making a 1-2 and then continuing upwards, or if the 29.3 breaks, coming down for 28.6. So I'll see how things are in the New York session for the moment. I am watching the London session do its sideways and watching to see what the RSIs are doing. We need a bit more structure to say whether we're going long or short trade-wise. Ethereum is in a similar situation, and again, I'm going to start with the weekly MAs. You can see why the 1750 level is so important. It is a major support and resistance. It's the neck of this head and shoulders. If I am to measure this head and shoulders and to mark it down as a target, it would be ridiculous. It would be like a 200 euro ETH, which I don't believe will happen unless something goes terribly wrong in August with their technical development. But yeah, so if we break this level, same as the 29.5 for Bitcoin, I do I do see a next support and resistance around the 1400, and then the next one is 1000, and then the next one is 700. So I am looking for some sort of relief on the weekly closing this week. Again, just like Bitcoin, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 weeks, 10 red weeks below the 5. 9 below the 5-1 where it broke. I do see it finishing this week above it and then getting some sort of relief on the 10 and then the 26, maybe even the 3000 before heading back down, because I do believe that both Bitcoin and Ethereum have space and momentum to go one more level down and finish I'll call it the bear market cycle, and then continue heading upwards. But if it looks like Ethereum has done its, it looks like Ethereum has done its triple bottom. It looks quite similar to the previous structure. But if Bitcoin decides to go down further, Ethereum, I think, will follow as well. I'm 80% of the opinion that it will follow and do another leg down. On the shorter time frame, Ethereum was very abrupt. So I think it's the most dynamic I've seen Ethereum act in a while in terms of doing less sideways than it used to. It kept to this nice ascending wedge. It did its 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 spilled out. And not only did it show itself quite early, so it was meeting rejection here at the trend line. It didn't meet the 1800, and then it broke out of the wedge and tested the 1750, and now it is above it. So in the short time frame, there's a bit of relief on the 1 hour. I expect, again, just like Bitcoin, I expect New York to put another foot down and make a 1-2, and then start building an impulse up to 1950. That's what I'm inclined to believe will happen. A bit of relief on the shorter time frames, but also this week it might get us above the 5, which is at 1920, 1950. So I am same as for Bitcoin. For Ethereum, I would be looking at a double bottom or a triple bottom formation during the New York session, and then a relief to 1850, possibly 1950. It could just consolidate and then retest the 1700. If Ethereum breaks the 1700, then the next level would be around the 1400. I'm not sure how fast it will go there, but we'll watch for the structure. If I am, again, just to technically measure the channel that we've been in, and again, I'll be very conservative with the targets. 1600 would be the next level, which is very typical for Ethereum. 100, 100, 100, 150 sometimes. So if New York breaks this 1750 level with a push down and then comes up to retest it and then gets rejected, chances are it's going to head down. If New York does a leg down and holds this level on the next candle, chances are we're going to go up. That's generally how the 1-2 reversals happen, up or the continuation pattern. So we're breaking down, we're retesting the level, and then we're continuing down. That's it for me. I hope that wasn't too long. Thank you for listening. Now we're going to finish the recording and take questions if you have any.